So hi everyone, welcome back. In the previous video we have discussed about 1D array, that is the one dimensional array. In today's video we are going to cover the next topic among this array, that is the multi-dimensional array, that is the two-dimensional arrays. Okay, so before directly diving into the concepts of two-dimensional array, let us have a quick recapitulation of the previous day's lecture, that is the one-dimensional array, and then we will get on track. Because if we discuss the one-dimensional array, then we will have a quick continuation of the topic. Okay, we will be understanding the two-dimensional array in a much better way if we have a quick recap of the previous day's one-dimensional array topic. Okay, so let's see what we have learned in the one-dimensional array previously. What I have mentioned, that what was an array? Array was a collection of data. So what was an array? So array was you can say collection of similar type of data under a single variable name. Right, we have learned that this was the definition of array. So what is an array? Array was a collection of similar types of data. Remember, similar types of data under a single variable name. This was an array. So how did we declare 1D array? We declared 1D array like this: int a10, or let's take a small value for our understanding, a5, in brackets a5. So what did this statement did? This statement make the compiler to assign or to create a space of 5 spaces in the memory of integer type for storing the numbers. Okay, so this was a space that was being created in the memory after the compiler read this line. Okay, so this is the array which has the name of 5, and this was the index, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, if the array is of size 5, then the index will run up to size minus 1, that is from 0 to 4 in this case. Okay, now on declaration of array, like this array was being created. Okay, now after this was the declaration. Okay, declaration. After this we have learned about the assignment of an array, where we assigned value to the array directly, that is like this: int a equal to 5. If it was like this, then we did like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What does this statement do? This statement would create an array of size 5, and then it would assign value to the 0th position as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this. Right, so after this was the assignment, or you can say initialization of any array. Initialization. Okay, this was declaration, this was initialization. Okay, so previously I missed out a thing to tell you, that if you declare a 1D array and you miss out to write this, the size over here, and you do like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and suppose you miss out the index size over here. So what will the compiler do? The compiler will automatically understand that this array is of size 5, because on reading the entities, it can count the number of entities. It will count the number of entities and it will automatically decide the size of the array, which is 5 in this case. So after this we learned about printing using loops, and also accepting the data, and also performing operations on the 1D array. For today, this much background knowledge is enough for understanding that concept of 2D array. So this was 1D array. Why this was 1D array? Because it has only one column, you can say one column, no rows. Right, because one-dimensional array. Right, today we are going to discuss about the two-dimensional array. So let's see how does the two-dimensional array looks like. So this is the two-dimensional array which is discussed here. Okay, this is the two-dimensional array looks like. Okay, what is the basic components of two-dimensional array? A two-dimensional array consists of row and it consists of column. Okay, so how is the column index looking like? It starts from 0 like this and to the n 9. And how is the row index starts? Row index also starts from 0 and continues up to the n. Okay, and how do you access any data from a two-dimensional array? Suppose I want to access 5 over here. If you can see over here, suppose I want to access this 5. So how do I access this 5? So to access this 5, if this is my array name, ARY is my array name, ARY is my array name. So how will I access 5? So to access 5, what will I write is like this. So ARY, okay, which is the array name, ARY. Then I will write the row index first. Remember, row index first, then the column index. See, first the row index. So what is the row index of this 5? Row index of 5 is 0. So I'll write 0 over here. And what is the column index of 5? Column index of 5 is 4. So we'll write 4 over here. So what this will give? This will give the 5. Clear? So this was about the indexing of an array. So let's take another example. Suppose I want to access 13. Suppose in case I want to access 13 from this array. So suppose the name of this array is ARR. Okay. So what will I write? I want to access this 13 and I want to store in any other variable, say s. So I will write int s equal to ARR. Let's make it small. Okay, ARR. And what is the row index first? What is the row index of 13? Row index of 13 is 1. So I will write 1 over here, right? And what is the column index of 13? It is 2. I will write 2 over here. So what will this line do? This line will store 13 in S. Okay. Remember, we write like this data type to access the data. Okay. So data type, variable name. I'm writing var. Okay. Then you write the array name. Okay. Then you write the row index. Then you write the column index. And what will this return? This will return the value stored in that location to this variable. Okay, this is the assignment of a variable with the data from an array. Clear? So this was about the indexing of a 2D array. Indexing means to count. Okay, and also the accessing data from a 2D array. So we are clear about how to access data from a 2D array. That is, we have to take the array name first. Then we have to write in the first square bracket about the row number and the column number of the respective element which we want to accept or we want to store in our other variable, and then we are done. Okay. Now remember always row indexing. I'm writing over here row index and column index. Always for 1D also, for 2D also, start from 0. Okay, so you can write here as a note, the row indexing and the column indexing always start from 0. So let's have a look at the example now, which I have given here is about the declaring of 2D array. We will now learn how to declare 2D array in a C program. So to declare 2D array, what we do is we have to write the data type, then the variable name, then the row, how many rows we want, and the columns we want after that. Okay. Now suppose if we consider this example, int a equal to 5, what this line will do? This line will make the compiler assign spaces in the memory. How it will assign spaces? This is the row index. This is the requirement of row, and this is the requirement of the column. Okay, so what will this do? If we see over here, this was the row, that is the number of this one, and this was the column. Okay, so what will it do? It will create a space in the memory like this, and it will have like this elements over here. And what is the name of this? Name is A. This is the 0th row, this is the 1th row, and this is the 1 2 3 4, I'm sorry, 0, from 0 it will start, 0 1 2 3 4, this is the column, right? So in this way we declare a 2D array. Now suppose I want an array of 3 rows and 3 columns. So how will I write? I will write like this: int arr, which is the array name, then 3 over here, which is the rows, and 3 over here, which is the column. So what will it interpret in the memory? It will interpret a space like this in the memory, like this. 1 2. So this is the 0 1 2, this is the row, and this is the column, which is 1 2 3. All right, so this is the concept of declaring an array. So what is the concept? That is data type. We write the data type, then the array name, then we write over here row, how many rows we want, and then over here we write columns, that is how many columns we want to make, right? So this was the process of declaration of a 2D array. Now we will see how do we assign value to the boxes or in the cells of a 2D array. So let's have a look at that. So we will now see assigning a 2D array with data. So let's see how it's working. So this is the syntax. So syntax follows this way, that is the data type, variable name, row, column. Clear? Data type, variable name, row, column. Now this was till up to this much, it was similar to that of the declaration of array. Now for assignment, we use this operator, that is the assignment operator, and then we assign the datas. So what will this interpret? So after reading this, the memory interpretation will be like this. In the memory, a matrix or an array will be created of 2 rows, because 2 rows, see, this is the row, 1 row is this one, and 1 row is this one. We separate 2 rows by using this comma. Okay, so 2 rows are made, this is the row, and how many columns are needed? See, 1 2 3, and here also 1 2 3. So we'll create 3 columns over here like this. So 1 2 3, and then we will assign values like this: 1 2 3 1 2 3. This 1 2 3, I'm sorry, this 1 2 3, that is this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. They are all the values, that is this one and this one. Correct. And these are the row index. It will be 0 and 1, and it will be 0 1 2 for columns. Clear? So how we declare an array? We declare an array like this. Let's consider the example now. So let's see, it is said int a. Int is the data type of the array, a is the array name, that is this one. This is the number of rows. Okay, this is the number of rows, this is the number of columns. Okay, and these are the data members. Okay, this one and this one. So what will this interpret in the memory? So in the memory, like this will be created, because we have 2 columns here, 2 columns like this. 2 columns are created, 2 rows are created, that is 0 and 1. These are the rows. And how many columns we need? We need 3 columns. So let's make it 3 columns, that is 0 1 and 2. So 11 12 13, and in the second row what we have? 45 67 99, 45 67 and 99. So in this way we assign a 2D array with data. Clear? So now we will learn about how to print 2D array. Now if you remember what we did in the 1D array, let's have a quick recap here also. When we printed the array, 1D array, let's write over here 1D printing. So how did we print the 1D array? So for printing of 1D array, what we did was we used loops to control or count index, right? So for 1D array, we had only columns. So how many loops we run? We run only one loop because only one index, right? Now here in case of 2D array, we have two indexes, that is one row index and one column index, right? So for doing one index or for controlling one index, we ran one loop, and now for controlling two index, that is row index and column index, we will run two loops. That is one loop will control this or count the row, and another loop will count the columns. So let's see what is written over here. So for printing, we use two loops. Obviously, why? One loop is controlling the row and one loop is controlling the columns, right? The first loop controls the index of the row, it is written over here, and the second loop controls second loop within it. Okay, second loop is always within the row loop, controls the index of the column. Okay, now let's understand this. See here, example is given. Okay, example is given. So how we interpret this example? So let's read the first line. Okay, let's read the first line now. So first line says int a 2 5, that is the array of 2 5, and this means 2 rows and 5 columns. Okay, and here the array is given. So let's create a memory diagram like this. So 2 rows made, so we made 2 rows, 5 columns, 0 1 2 3, and that is 4. This is row 1, row 0, row 1, this is 0 1 2 3 4 columns respectively. So let's give value what it was given, 1 2 3 4 5, and here also 1 2 3 4 5. Done. So we have the array initialized in our memory. This is our memory, and this is our output screen over here. Okay, this is our output. Okay, now let's see. So after reading the first line, this memory is being assigned or memory is being initialized with the array. Okay, now comes the for loop, where we run the for loop, and then the j loop inside it. So what does the for loop do? It counts or stores anything index of row. It will count the index of row, and after that we have the j loop, that is this one. This is the I loop and this is the j loop. Inside the I loop, see here, follow the braces. Okay, inside the j loop. So what does this j loop do? This j loop will count the index of column. Alright, so let's see how this looping is executed. Okay, this is the I, this is the j, and the output will be over here. So first the I was 0. Alright, when I is 0, then it enters the loop. Then comes j equal to 0, j less than equal to 5. What is the initial value of j? Initial value of j is 0. Okay, now what is I comma j? aij, anything I can say. What is aij now? What is the 0th position, 0th row, 0th column? Okay, so what is there? We have a 1 over here. Let's print 1 on the output screen, right? After that we have a \t, that means 1 space. So we give 1 space. After that the loop, j loops end. Now after this the j loop will again increment by 1. So at this point j becomes 1. Okay, so 0th row, I equal to 0 now and j equal to 1 now. So what we have over here, I 0, j 1. So this is 0, j 1, we have 2. So 2 will be printed. Then again a space over here, right? Then j also increments by 1 again, it becomes 2. So I equal to 0 and j equal to 2. So I equal to 0, that is I equal to 0 and j equal to 2, that is over here. What is there? There is 3. So what will this become? This will become 3 and 3 will be printed like this. once the j comes to 4, it will print 3 and 4 also like this. Once the j becomes 4, I am doing it over here in the side. So it will give 0th row, 4th column. What is present? 5 is present. So 5 will be printed. Now see, once 5 is printed, when j becomes 5, this loop will end, this for loop will end. Right? Let's change the ink color now. It's becoming a mess. Now once this j loop ends, there is a printf \n. So what will this one do? This one will bring the cursor from here to the next line over here. Okay. Now what happens? The I loop is still there. Now the I loop will increment. So where does the I loop takes us is over here. So I was 0 initially. I will increment by 1. So now if I erase everything over here, so I becomes 1 now, right? And j becomes again 0 now. So at this point, it comes A1, comma 0. So what do we have at 1, comma 0? At 1, comma 0, we have 1. That is 1th row, 0th column, we have 1. 1 is printed, right? After that \t, 1 space. After that, j also increments by 1. So 1th row and 1th column, what we have? We have 2. That is 2. I'm sorry. We have 2 over here. So let's print 2. After that, we have j becomes 2 when we increment it by 1. So 1th row, 2th column. What is there? That is 3. Right? So let's print 3. And like this, 4 and 5 are printed. Correct? So we use 2 loops to print the entire 2D array. Right? So the next page, what we have is accepting 2D array from the user. But before accepting the 2D array from the user, let's make a thing clear in the 2D array. Now by implementation of the loops, we can print entire array. But suppose if I want to print only a single element, suppose I want to print the 5 in the first row. So what will I write? If I want to print only the 5. So what will I write? I will write printf. I'm writing down no space. Okay. %d. After %d, what will I write? I will write the array name and then the index and then bracket close and then semicolon. And in the index, what will I write? The index of 5. What is the row of 5? That is 0. What is the column of 5? That is 4. So 0, 4 will give me 5. What will this do? This will print only 5, but not the entire array. To print the entire 2D array, we run loops like this, for loops. Correct? Understood the thing? Understood how we print 2D array using loops? We will implement this in VS Code afterwards, but for the time being, it's essential to know how we implement the loops in counting the index and printing the arrays. Right? Now let's see the next concept and the last concept for today. Last concept of 2D array also, that is accepting a 2D array from the user. Now up to now we have seen arrays where we initialized it, declared it on our own. But suppose if a user wants to input an array while the running of the program, so what will the user do? Same thing, we will run 2 loops, 1 and 2. At first we will declare an array, that is 2 rows. This is the rows and 2 columns and 5 columns, I'm sorry. Right? So what will happen in the memory like this? 2 rows will be created and then 5 columns will be assigned like this. Okay, this is a 0th row, 1th row, and columns is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Now let's see how the loop is executing. See here, for I equal to 0, very good, that is counting the row. Let's write over here row index, I controlling the row index and j controlling the column index. Okay, so I, j, a, I, j. Okay, let's see. When I is 0, okay, j loop is entered. Okay, after the j loop is entered, j is 0, so 0 comma I 0 comma a 0 comma 0. So at this point there is a scanf, right? When scanf is interpreted, the compiler will ask or demand the number to be placed at this index, that is a 0 comma 0. Now at this point, if I write 5 and press enter, okay, what will happen? The 5 will be inserted in this position in the memory, that is 0th location of the array in the memory. After this, j increments to 1. At that time, compiler will ask us for the position of this one, that is a 0 comma 1. At this time we enter a number, suppose 15, and press enter. So a 0 comma 1, 15 will be entered over here, right? Now after this entire thing, suppose we get values 20, 21, 25 like this. When j becomes 4, after j becomes 4, j will increment to 5, and that time this loop will be terminated, the j loop, right? Then after that the j loop ends and the I loop also ends. Then after that the I will increment by 1, and then I becomes 1, and j again becomes 0 to 4 like this, and it will ask us for the value, and we will give value accordingly, like 21, 20, 51, 50, 99 like this. Quite simple, as like this a one-day array only. In the one-day array we run or accepted the array from the user using one loop. Here we are accepting the array from the user by using two loops, where one loop is controlling the row index and the other loop is controlling the column index, right? First comes the row, then comes the column, right? Now I missed out a thing here, that here there will be a ampersand, right? Let's make a change over here. I did a mistake while entering the slides. I noticed it just now that here will be a ampersand. Okay, ampersand. Make this correction in your notes, right? So this was about accepting a 2D array from the user. So that's all about the concepts of 2D array. Now we will see how we bring operations in 2D array, and we will see the programs that we have for practice. Now see, the first program for today is write a program to print a 2D array on the output screen. So we are asked to print a 2D array on the output screen. So let's go to our VS Code and see how we do this. So we are in our VS Code. We are asked to print a 2D array. If you want me to zoom over here, I hope it's visible now. Yeah, it's visible. Now we will declare a 2D array. Let it be of int type only. So int, let a be the array name, and we will need 2 rows and 5 columns. Okay, and we'll write like this: 5. Okay, this was 1 row and comma, and in the second row we will write like this. Suppose the numbers be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so like this we assigned, or you can say initialized, a 2D array. And now to print this we will run a for loop. So it will be for int I equal to 0, I less than equal to, we are counting the rows, so it will be 2, then I plus plus, because the I loop is controlling the index of row. Then inside the j loop we will write int j equal to 0. How long j will go? J will go up to 4, or we can write j less than 5. It will go up to 4 only. Either way, we will not give j less than equal to, we will give j less than 5. So if you give j less than 5, it will go up to 4. Okay, then we will give j plus plus. Then we will write over here printf. Then format specifier for int, that is %d. Then if you want to separate by spaces between two numbers, we can give \t. Then over here we will write a, I and j. I is the row, j is the column. And now after printing the first column, if you want, after printing the first row indeed, if you want to print the next row in the next line, so what will we do? We'll write a \n to make the cursor print the second array or the second row, in the next line. So this was our code all about. So let's run this code and see if it's working properly or not. So let's see. So error is coming. Suppose I missed a semicolon somewhere. Let's check. So it's asking us, yeah, we missed a brace over here after declaring. We opened the brace and we forgot to close the brace. Yeah, our code should work properly now. Let's see. Yeah, so it's printing, see, in the first line 1 2 3 4 5, that is the row 1, and in the second line it is printing 6 7 8 9 10, that is the second column, second row, right? So in this way we solve the first program, that is the printing the 2D array. This is the 2D array. We have 2 rows and 5 columns. We print 2D array in this way, right? So let's now move to the next code and see what we have. So in the second code we have that accept a 2D array from the user using Scanf, that is this one, question number 2. If we change the ink color to, that is this one. This one is complete, and now we are going to do this one, that is program to accept a 2D array from the user. We are going to use Scanf. Okay, so let's see how we do this in VS Code. We are in our VS Code now. Now what we will do, we will accept 2D array from the user. So let us assume that our array is of 2 rows and 5 columns. We want to accept it from the user, and we'll write over here Scanf. Okay, then the format specifier, then ampersand, then a, I, and here j, and we are done. And we don't need a printf over here. We'll erase this, and this is the input part. And in order to print this separately, we'll write over here printf %t and remove the ampersand, and we'll separate the numbers by \t. Then after every row we will print a new line so that our output comes in a soothing way. So let's zoom out and see the entire code once. Yeah, so it became very small. This much is okay, I guess. So this is our code, that is int equal to int a 2,5, that is 2 rows 5 columns. So for loop and ij loop remains intact. Then with the scanf we are accepting values over here, that is this one. Then after that we are writing printf aij, that is printing the row and columns that we have input, and then printf \n to print in the next line. Now to make our program much more easier, we can write over here printf to display a message that enter the number at place or at index, anything. It is %t, index %d, and then %d. Okay, so let's write the row and the column over here, which will make us understand the program in a much better way. So like this. Let's run the code now. I hope it's working properly. So let's enlarge this. So here it is asking us for the number at index 0, 0. Let it be 1. Number at 0, 1, 2, and like this. Let's fast forward the process. 5. Then it is coming to row 1, column 0. Let's give it to after 5, then 6, 7, 8, 9, and then at last we will get 10. And when we press enter, we get our entire array printed in this format, that is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So in this way we accepted the value from the user and we are printing it according to the program we did in the last way. Okay, like that only we are printing. So this was our question number 2 being solved. Okay, so let's see the next question now. So program 2 is solved. So what is the program number 3? Program number 3 says program to accept a 2D array from the user, accept 2D array from the user and print the sum of every row. So we will print the sum of every row over here. Very easy. So let's go. So here we already have the code to accept the value from the user. So if you can comment over here one thing, that we are input of array. All right, and then this is the printing part of the array. So you can write in comments that the printing part. Okay, now this improves the readability of your program. Okay, when you will read the program next time, you can understand in what is done. Okay, so we'll copy this one, and this will be the operation part, where we will calculate the sum of every rows. Okay, so we'll write here calculation. Okay, so to print the sum of every row, what will you do over here is you will declare a variable, suppose int over here, int sum equal to 0. What will this sum do? This sum will add the row. Okay, so let's write over here that sum plus equal to a I j. So this will create the summation of the every row elements, every column elements, I'm sorry. And then after that we will print over here printf summation of first row elements is let's change this first to percentage d row elements, so that we can understand which row elements is being summed is percentage d, and we'll write here I, comma, then we'll write sum. All right, so for this program, for the time being, we do not need the printing part, right? So let's okay, let's keep the printing part also, but we will print this before, so that we can have a better readability of the output. So let's cut this and paste it over the calculation part. I'm sorry, over here. Yeah, over here. So we are done. So let's see how this program is working. Okay, let's see now. So it is asking us for the value. Let's give it very fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then the last, that is 10. So this is our array. So summation of 0 row elements is 15. If you add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I guess it's coming 15 only. So 2 plus 1 gives 3, 3 and 3, 6, 6 and 4, 10, 10 plus 5, 15. That's properly coming. 10 summation of row 0th row elements, that is 15, and summation of 1 row elements is 40, like that. So if you want to separate the output in two separate lines, so I can write over here summation of row elements is this, and after this we will write percentage backslash n to make the output come in the next line. Okay, so let's see how it's working now. Let's give any other value, say 10, 10, 10. Okay, let's give it in different lines. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. So in the 0th row we gave all the numbers to 10. Then in the 1th row we will give 20, 20, 20, 20, 20 yet again. So see here, 5 tens are 50, so it's coming 50. Okay, and 520 is 100, so we are getting 100 over here. If you see very properly, the summation of 1 row elements is 100. So in this way we perform the summation of the row elements. Clear? So this was all about our program number 4. So let's see, and let's go to the next question what we have. That is this one, last program. So program 3 is done. Let's mark it. So program 4 asks us to program to print the addition of 2 matrices. So how many matrices are there? 2 2D matrices. Okay. For this we will consider the square matrices, and we will predefine it because we can do it much faster there, because accepting part we are already familiar with it. Okay, so let's go to VS Code. We need 2 arrays for the time being now. So we have, let's make it let's make it 3, 3. Or instead of doing 3, 3, okay, let's do it 3, 3, whatever. Or let's do it 2, 3. Okay. Anyway, the answer will come. at int b also 2 and 3, 2 rows 3 column matrix, and let's assign value to it now, and let it be 10 comma 10 comma 10, and then over here 10 comma 10 comma 10. Okay, let's open a brace over here and brace close over here, and same thing we are going to do over here. Instead of doing 10, let's give it some other value, say 20 20 20, right? So 20 20 20, and over here comma 20 brace open, I'm sorry, 20 20 20 again, and we have our arrays now. We don't need this input part, so we will remove it. Okay, we will print the arrays. Okay, this is for printing one array, first array, and so another one will print the second array, that is b. So let's change the grouping conditions. So row will remain intact, and this will become 3, and this one will also become 3. So before printing the second array, we will write over here printf other array. Okay, and done. Also, let's make it to array 1 and array 2. Okay, array 1. See, these things improve the readability of your output and nothing else. If you can skip this part also, but that is not advisable. Okay, so this will be array 1 and this one will be array 2, right? So we are printing the array elements like this, and for the calculation part, what we will do is we will add. So after adding, we also need another array, right? So how will the another array be? Let it be C, which will hold the sum, and it will also have the same index, right? Same row and columns, right? So we will add the two arrays like this. So it will be like this. So we will write over here Cij equal to Aij plus Bij. That's all for addition, right? And at the end, what we will do, we will print the added array, or the summation array, that is C. So we will write here printf answer is \n, and then we will print the array C, and let's change it to C, and our code is done. Okay, so what will this output come? 20 plus 10 30, and like this will come. Let's see the output. We will understand it pretty clearly if it is coming or not. So let's see. Let's see now running this code. Let's see. So it's not coming properly because indexing is not proper. So after printing array 2, let's write a \n over here and also \n over here. Okay, so let's run this now. So answer is coming properly. See, 20 plus 10. Okay, 20 plus 10, it gives you 30. So here also 20 plus 10 gives you 30. 20 again, and 10 gives you 30 again. So in this way, our code is running very properly. So that was all about the code. If you want to take a screenshot, you can take it this way. I'm zooming out a bit. Alright. So this was our code for the 2D array. So that's all for today, I guess. So in this video, we have learned about working operations with 2D arrays. In the next video, we will come up with a new concept, that is the concept of character array on the strings. Okay, and after that we will have pointers, or let's have pointer before string, and then after string we will have pointers. Anyway, we will decide it later on. In the next video, we will decide what we have to study as per the routine plan. Okay, so today we have discussed about the operations of 2D array. We have discussed how to initialize 2D array, and also how to declare array, how to accept array from the user, and how to print. So yeah, that's all for today. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.